Hello guys, coming at you with another deck profile for May 2015, and as you can see, it's Qliphort. This is essentially a turbo version of it. Speed through the deck to get to your scouts as fast as possible. Yeah, and these are my tech choices, and there are a few things that are subject to change, and just everything in here, it has worked for me in testing, and yeah. So we'll start off with one monolith because you only you only need one. One stealth. I might bump this up to 2. He's just really good in tandem with scout because I don't run trampolinks. I should run trampolinks, but I do not have one. Shell to push for game. Really, he's like the last card I ever search for in the entire deck. I search for everything else except for him unless I'm pushing for game. And then 2 scout because you can only run 2 scout. Alright, then the 3 of Qliphort monsters, we run 3 disc. Essentially helps you get your OTKs off, and he's a discard target for one of your draw cards. Then the 3 carriers and 3 helixes to get rid of monster and back row. I do not main MST, but I do side it. So it's just easy to have. And then for the rest of the monsters, run 2 Honest Pendulum Dragon. He's in here to search out your scouts, and if you run trampolines, he can search out your trampolines. And he's also good getting, like, he's a good monster in general, and you can still pendulum summon with him with the scout. So yeah, he's good, and he's also a target for one of your draw cards, and then 2 failure to negate monster effects. Next, the one Sacrifice, because Sacrifice is only allowed at 1. You really don't need it unless you open up a really good hand. Yeah, that's the only time I really search for it, is if I have a good hand and I can get a first turn monster out quickly with Sacrifice and like 1 or 2 back row. Next is Laser Clip. It's just really good to have that extra normal summon. You normal summon, pendulum, then get another normal summon. Usually, if I have 2 monsters out, I'll normal summon like Odd Eyes, and then activate this pendulum, then normal summon another Qli monster, get their effects off, and if I have monolith, get the draws. It's just really good. Then 1 Book of Moon to stop plays and big boss monsters mainly. And then 2 Sacred Swords of 7 stars, because you have 5 targets, and most of the time it's going to be your Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragons, because there's 9 cards in here that thin through the deck so fast that you won't really ever need to use Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon's effect unless you don't have this card and the dragon in the same hand. 3 Chalice, because skill drains at 1, and Chalice with this deck is just amazing, and I would probably not cut it ever. There's just been so many situations where it's come in handy, and yeah. And here are the 9 cards that like thin through the deck so fast. You got 3 Upstarts, 3 Summoner's Art, and 3 Power Dualities. You really don't have to worry about not getting to your scout as fast as possible. If you don't get him turn 1, you will definitely get him turn 2, because these thin through your deck. This is a 42 card main deck, and it really does not affect me if it's not 40 cards, because these 9 cards thin through the deck so fast. They make it so much smaller, and by the time your opponent has something, you already have an established board. Summoner's Art, we all know there's 3 targets in the entire deck, and that's the 2 Scout and the Monolith. And then the Duality, it's really good first turn and second turn, and late game it's a good bluff in my opinion. And sometimes if you just want to overextend, which you should never do, but if you ever want to overextend, that's your card. Alright, and that's all the spells. Next we have one climate change to get back your combo pieces and your scouts in case they get destroyed. I do not run Rescue Hamster, I prefer climate change. I don't know about the possibility of running this at more than one. It depends on how my matchups go, especially against Burning Abyss, because Fire Lake is a card, and Fire Lake destroys my Pendulum Scales and whatever else I have. Next is Skill Drain, because Skill Drain's at 1. Same thing with Vanities. 2 Mind Crush, just to stop your opponent's plays and look at their hand at the same time. It's just really good to know what they're gonna do, even if you call the wrong monster, or if you don't call the right monster at all. It's still good to know what's in their hand. And then 2 Fiendish Chain for more monster negation. Next we have the extra deck. I'll show the side deck. Yeah, later. Alright, first we got the one Draco Sack. I rarely ever go into Draco Sack, much less the extra deck. But sometimes I'll just open up pretty good 2-disc and I'll just make him sit on him until I can get my scout. Most of the time though, when I do go into my extra deck, it's for Castel, and when I do go into one, I always would want another. So, 2 Castel. 1 Exciton Knight to get rid of boards, 101 to get rid of monsters, same with Exceed, Gaga Cowboy for game, get rid of certain cards, Necros, get rid of certain cards, it's my favorite Exceed monster, Book of Moon and Utopia, basically, Abyss Dweller for Burning Abyss, Ragnar Zero for Mirror, Rhapsody for Shaddolls, and Carnagorgon to protect Scout. And then finally we have the side deck, where we have, this is subject to change extremely. I'm going to put in like Vanities, Fiends, and a 3rd Storm 4th, but for right now this is what I have. 3 Mystical Space Typhoons. This should be 3 Storm 4th, 1 Compulse. I'm thinking about making room for him in the main deck because he's just really good to have in the main, and game 2, that's when they usually side in their MSTs, and he's dead, so I'm probably going to find out some place for him in the main. 2 Mirror Forces are going to come out for Vanities. 3 Shadow Imps because Shaddolls is the worst matchup, and 3 Royal Decree because it's a good card and I should main it, but I really have to make room for it. So that was the Qliphort deck profile. If you enjoyed, please like and comment constructively instead of telling me what to run. I mean, I admire constructive content, but if you tell me to take out certain cards, or if you call me a noob for running 42 cards, that's just not constructive whatsoever. So thank you all for watching. Please like and favorite and whatnot. I really don't care if you subscribe. So later.